Let's fight. A very good evening to each and every one of you folks. Happy pre-Christmas Eve. Happy pre-Christmas Eve. Each wherever you're joining us from. Good to have each and every one of you on the live. Denise, thanks for the thing. Denise in the UK. Good to have you on the live tonight. All the other folks who joining us. Big Auntie from Atlanta, in from the cold. Good evening to you as well. Welcome home. And all the others who are visiting. Lynn. Welcome home. No. Who's Big Auntie? Who's Denise? Who is Lynn? Good to have all of you on the live this evening, folks. Pace and power, boots on the ground. Let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. Dolly and Chisel Chipper, Bradham. Good to see you with us, my brother. Haven't seen that name flit by in a couple hours. You know, good to have you on the live tonight, folks. Wherever you're joining us from, it's our privilege being here with all of you. Pace and power. Share the live, good folks. Smash that emoji button for us. Yep, folks, it's pre. Y'all dealing with pre or it's just the full thing y'all want? Y'all dealing with any pre-Christmas Eve, folks. Happy pre-Christmas Eve. Tomorrow is it, folks. Tomorrow is it. The day before. The big day. Hope you all put away. You break up. Now you fix back. You put away. I have to be reminded this morning. Thank you, folks. Thank you for keeping me sharp. Paul Boney put away. Cheryl and Sharon more curious. Joylyn, you put away. You know, even though it's Christmas, them boys are resting, you know. Brenda, Norma, Joylyn, Patricia. And that's why we were going to take 2 weeks off. Realize we can't do it. You see? Because evil and resting, you know. We can, us here who are on the front line, Brennan, us who are doing good. Them boys are resting. How we can rest? We can't rest. Even when the battle has been won. When the battle has been won, folks, then the hard work really starts. How I sung them? Folks? Am I making sense? Folks, we hope you all don't overwork yourself, especially those of you who are in the 592. And you gotta get it blind just right and X amount of food and drinks. All that is well and good. But ensure that you really enjoying it. You ain't just doing it for the foreigners. You ain't just doing it for others who may or may not come by. Do it for you. And let us all remember, the true reason for the season. You understand? Some of y'all think it's here from them. No, it's not them. It's not Jack Dio, big head. Neither. It's not Susan Rodriguez. Do you remember? I can remind you some things just now. Hold on. Good to have each and every one of you, wonderful and fantastic, lovely folks, on the live tonight. We trust that you guys are great and well. Wherever you're joining from, give us a thumbs up if you're hearing us loud and clear. Bertrand Henry says, we're ready for the fire. Zoan Stewart, good to have all of you on the live tonight. Good to have all of you on the live. Deborah Sharona Lynch, Bertrand Henry, now that you've spoken, let's get into it, Bertrand. Now that you've invited us to proceed. Thank you very much. Ring the bell one time for Bertrand. Folks, good to have all of you. Pre-Christmas Eve. Tomorrow's a big day, Christmas Eve. And we're just happy and delighted to have all of you. No doubt, you all are checking off the list, making sure everything is in place. The black cake, the prickly pork, the jingle bear, the ginger bear. I can take the ginger in the teeth. Don't worry, the bear part. Just yet, folks. But I'm happy that you folks are here with us. We got a couple of things on the card. That's what's happening with us. We got a couple of things on the card tonight, folks. Colonel McDonald, the Shadow Minister of Education, General Secretary of Ghana Teachers Union. We got a boy Brutus, Jack Dio, Irfan on the live. Is who on the card? That's the thing. Is who? Not in the fight card. I'm tearing out a little bit. Tearing out a little bit. But let's begin with the leader of the opposition. The opener, folks. He was a nation watch over the weekend. And that issue of the commissioner, the substantive appointment, the commissioner of police came up. Take a look at folks. Take a listen while we sort ourselves out.
Leader of the People's National Congress Reform, Aubrey Norton, is insisting that the appointment of Clifton Hicken as police commissioner is unlawful. He said that for starters, Norton, wasn't consulted on the appointment.
He's way past the age and therefore should not be confirmed. I made the point that if a teacher arrives at the age of retirement and she is a deputy headmistress, you can't confirm her as headmistress after retirement.
He said that Hicken's appointment is a clear violation of the Constitution. This appointment would be tested in the courts, Norton said. He added that Hicken should be dealt with for mismanaging the Guyana police force.
The highest level of corruption ever in the history of the Guyana police force is occurring under Clifton Hicken. I don't think he's suitable at all to be commissioner. And that is apart from the other things he's accused of.
There was also the appointment of some deputy commissioners. Many of them were facing disciplinary charges prior to the appointment. And this was during the tenure of the previous Police Service Commission. There were no reports that these people had been exonerated.
It compromises national security, but it has to be taken in context. You have a president who had 19 fraud charges and was not exonerated. What they did is use the power at their disposal to drop the charges, but there has been no exoneration. And if the government is complicit in corruption, then one anticipates that as far as the government is concerned, nothing is wrong with appointing some of the people they have appointed who are accused of corruption and other forms of malpractices.
Norton said that the Guyana police force is now governed by people of questionable character.
It's just a manifestation of the lawlessness of the People's Progressive Party. And there has been a total breakdown of law and order in Guyana, even at the level of traffic.
There have been non-appointments. Vice President Barica wasn't in agreement with the then President David Braintree over the appointments of the Chancellor and the Chief Justice. President Irfan Ali had also made an utterance on the appointments.
He had also falsely said that it will be dealt with once the Judicial Commission is in place, even though that couldn't happen, because that is not a case of the judicial appointment. It's a case of an agreement between the president and the opposition leader, and then they move forward. I believe that he has no intention of appointing the two persons. They have the design as to who they want there, and they will do everything to ensure that they don't appoint the two of them. I think the barrier that they face is that the opposition leader has to agree.
Y'all see story there, folks? Y'all see story there? Share. Y'all name one thing in this country that's working. You remember, Susan? This morning, if you join our morning program, we showed you power ship here, them powering. I think Junior Day, them boy said it may not have come online. There's it out there in the Demra River. The power ship empowering. Irfan Ali told us over the weekend, Gaisuko, sugar better the bad. Sugar better the bad, Gaisuko. The man himself said, heads got a roll at Gaisuko. And you got Rodriguez out here clunging. People serious in this life. And she out here clunging. You remember the promises of them? Since the 10th day, folks, and we coming around to this frontally. Since the 10th day of October, they're telling us instantaneously, you're getting the cash grant. How we looking? I can tell you, we're looking thin. Very, very thin we're looking. Instantaneously. And that's what Irfan said. That's how we getting this thing. Huh? How we looking? How Trump looking? You know, Musk is the Jack View. You know, Musk is the Trump brother. What Jack is the earphone. Musk taking over. Everywhere you turn, Musk there. Y'all hearing us? Do let us know. You're hearing us loud and clear. Joylyn, Leon, Lennox, Sister Mercy, Carol Jacobs. Let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. Musk taking over. He promised to stay in the background. But the fella is who the fella be. Like he can't stay in the background for too long. So today, they're advising us that Trump came out and say, there's only one president. There's only one president. And it's not going to be Musk. He's not going to be president. He's going to be me. Folks, Lennox, Linden, Carol, Edward, Nigel, let me go. Once you get to say that, you already lose. We had said Trump not going to be president neither. We had said Trump is not going to be president neither. You know how? How is that working out for us? He's not going to be president neither. He came out and he said, Musk not going to be president. I'm fully in charge. It's little by little. If you watch the commentary, they're saying that Musk is overshadowing. Precaution, they're overshadowing Putin a piece of time too. You all remember that? Those of you who, the sharp activists, you all remember that? You Jevny Prigozhin, he was trying to overshadow Putin. And then one day, Prigozhin and his lieutenants decide they're going on a plane. They're flying from Belarus to Moscow. Well, the plane hasn't met yet. The plane have not met us yet. Watch yourself. Elon, watch yourself. Trump says he's not going to be. You know what Trump is doing? Big Lee, he's not going to be president. It's with me, head honcho. It's like everybody know. It's not really your fun. You know, it's not really, nobody really listening. Nobody really listening to earphone. You know? Nobody really listening. It's not really earphone. That a fellow. That other fellow. Folks. Who on with us tonight? Adele, Cheryl, Leon, Idris, Patricia. Why are these folks doing these things to our teachers? To anybody else? This cash grant thing is problems. It is a lot of problems. Cash grant. Soon as a cash grant, people start getting belly work. Whoop, whoop. People start getting belly work right away. Cash grant and Tracy Clark. Cash grant this country like a cuss word now. Right? You tell somebody cash grant and say, look, don't tell me about me mother ready for lock and chuck. It's a dangerous country. 17-year-old bandit, 23-year-old accomplice. Why are they doing this to our teachers? Lovely journalist over the weekend, Marcel from Starbrook News. She said, Irvan, you didn't tell me before Christmas and get this cash grant. Look, I got the children waiting. I got the children in a holding pattern. We got some gifts on layaway waiting for this thing. You said October 10th, instantaneously. And then when I asked you, I said, you said by the end of November. Now the end of November come and gone. What is it, Irfan? What is it? What is it? What is it? He was in the seat, folks, over the weekend. Take a look, take a listen. Some of what he said in the seat.
We try to ensure that uh, transparency is built into every aspect of this, which require the banking system, the Auditor General Office, the Ministry of Finance, the regions, everything to work in a coordinated manner. The public servants and pensioners would definitely get their checks. Many pensions would have already received in some of the regions. So the public servants, their checks will definitely come. So the registration process is ongoing for region 4 at the moment. So let me explain to you. Region 9, for example, is almost completed. Every person in Region 9 would have received their received a check. Just a few checks are outstanding. Now, let me tell you the additional complication. Now, checks ensure there's transparency, another layer of transparency. But checks also brings a bureaucracy with it. Because when you go to Crowdar in Region 9, the people don't have any access to banking. So you give them their checks in Crowdar, how do they get the cash? So we then had to go and work with the commercial banks, get a security infrastructure so that they could have cashed their checks in the village themselves. So that is Region 9. So that's an added layer. In Region 1 and 8, they're working right now. As I speak to you, they're working right now on, they have already captured the registrants, and the checks are being paid out in Region 1 and 8. Region 4, they're capturing of persons. Have you registered as yet? Right. So the capturing of persons in Region 4 is ongoing, and we are hoping that once there's enough data in the system, that we'll start paying out the checks also for Region 4. Before the end of the year, some of those checks will start to be paid out. As I said, the public servants and the pensioners, those are already, the database is there, that will already be in the system. We've also announced a number of other benefits that the system has to process, including the almost 26,000 persons on the disability register, persons living with disability, that now have to get that $35,000 check. So all of those things are being processed. So I would say that the building out the process, having the app in place, having the entire flow chart of what has to be done would have taken an additional time, but additional time that was worth it, because it's additional time that allowed for the verification, the means of verification, and the built transparency that we wanted in the system. Yeah. Then pensioners and public servants, their check will be cut in the system before the end of the year. So let me explain to you what happens. When you collect in Region 9, you collect the data for everyone. Everyone will go and register, which may include pensioners, include public servants. The system that is built then differentiate, because otherwise it takes out the duplication, any potential duplication, so that one person would not be paid as a public servant and receive during the registration. So that's another process that has to take place. So yes, they will get their check, but I was just explaining to you the additional layers that became necessary.
Yeah. I know some. No. When we start with their fun, Trump say he not be president. It's not he. mm. Mm. Today, folks, today. You got cut checks, is Ashley, is the neighbors, the handyman, is the gardener. Let's say, oh, I just want, I some 100,000. You know? I some 100,000. We got legacy to make hay with this 100,000. Generational wealth. God build hay. Oh. My God. That was the most, very fun. Today, folks, our beloved teachers turned up 21 breakdown. They turned up at 21 breakdown. Folks, if the people care for us, if they care for our teachers, I want to stop caring. If the PPP care, I want to stop caring. I like the feel of it. It's feel different. Our teachers were in the sun today at 21 breakdown. Some of them didn't even know they had a cash grant distribution for teachers. Some heard, by the way, teachers got a great camaraderie. They didn't even know. And so they started calling each other and say, hey, thing going down. So many of them converge on 21 breakdown Ministry of Education pre-office. They had to now send them down to St. Stanislaus College, Avenue Republican breakdown, send them down at that end. And then they got treatment because the government cares. They have to stand up outside now. You're going to stand up outside. So teachers who are usually on the other side of the fence, they're outside. Not because they went later than 5:30. It's just the system. It's just the system. And as you will hear, some of them, the names couldn't be found on the list. We're told that whole schools disappear from lists. Why are they treating our teachers this way? I don't like it. And we must not settle for this. Suzanne, you remember? Do you? You don't see Suzanne with a TikTok video. They're trying to distract from their own record. Suzanne should be telling us how much houses they build at housing that she's the minister within. What projects are they executing and executing well? Because when government changed in 2015, we had to do over a whole host of houses at places like Perseverance. So it's not just building houses, it's about building houses well. You remember that, Susan? Susan, I will remember that. Remember fiber optic cable? You remember? You remember Skeldon Sugar Factory? You remember the corruption that was one laptop per family? Remember the gunning down, the shooting down, the maiming, the killing? You remember that? Look at the lines the teachers got to be in. The sun was hot this morning and then it's rain. Hot again and rain. All the while they're standing outside. You know, when we got out, they suddenly gate open. Suddenly gate open. They say, come in. I wouldn't say it's because we were there. It was just coincidental. We started posting the pictures and so on. And then suddenly, gate open. They say, come. Red Sea Part, come. You're coming. Just like that, you know. You're coming. Come in. Teachers couldn't find a name. The teachers registered. And all this verification you heard Irfan talking about there. Verification out the window. Teachers couldn't find the names. Individual teachers. And then we told entire schools missing. Transformational, isn't it? You remember this a long time, Susan. A long time. They're going to remember lines. To buy a pound of sugar, you got to go in a line. For the instantaneous cash grant, 3 months later, you got to take a line. Folks, teachers were upset this morning. Understandably, angry in this season. You don't want to be in Georgetown if you don't have to be. You could spend 6 hours in town trying to get between 3 corners. Traffic back to back. Brothers and sisters, we caught up with the Shadow Minister for Education, who is also the General Secretary for the Guyana Teachers Union. She's not a Facebook activist. I met her on the ground. Teachers in trouble, she was on the front line with them. As I saw Coretta McDonald, John Rebel, Coretta McDonald, all the days of the strike, on the ground in Essequibo, on the ground in Georgetown, Region 4, on the ground in 2, on the ground in 10, on the ground. She's not them leaders that's sending soldiers to the battlefront. And she in some cushy, air-conditioned place well behind enemy lines. Far from the battle, not her. I met her on the ground. I was very impressed with that. Cash grant given up. Is every man for himself? No. My teachers are out there, and she was out there as well. That is very, very tremendously commendable. A better system is needed. And the PPP, do not let people tell you all that this is order and decency. This thing chaotic bad. Some of y'all know this chaotic. Same thing. It's chaotic. And when it's chaotic, you still got a little hope. This chaotic. And we spoke with the Shadow Minister for Education, the Honorable Coretta McDonald, on the front lines. Folks, I kid you that. Soon as the people see we, gate open, say, what ups? Gate open. Say, y'all coming. Come in, teachers. Yeah. Coming. Y'all coming. While Susan singing away on TikTok, Rome Burns, do you remember we had you in the sun? Shadow Education Minister.
Let me say compliments of this season to all. But this here is not compliments of this season. This here is another comedy show. This here is another distasteful, despicable, and disrespectful act by the government of Guyana and the Ministry of Education, where you have teachers lining up to collect $100,000. This is how much you care for your educators. This is how much you care for the people who turn the wheel and cause you to top at CXC. I mean, this is disgusting, Sherrod. When we look at what transpired during the distribution of the cash grant for the children, you had their programs well planned in every school, where you had instructions from the Redos and so on, telling you what color curtain to put up on the stage for the decoration. And you had ministers of government going to schools across the region. Now here you are today, look, teachers have to line up in the sun and the rain to get $100,000. Where is the planning? And this here shows how the Ministry of Education is all confused and no proper system in place. It shows here the incompetence not only of the government, but the Minister of Education and our entire team with the release of this 100,000. Now you have reduced teachers to beggars. That's what you have done here. Reduced teachers to beggars. And I'm asking the Ministry of Education to put a proper system in place. After today, we should not have our teachers coming here to line up. They're not children. They're not beggars. The $100,000 is what is supposed to be given to them. It's their money, as a matter of fact. And so we should never have a repeat of what is happening here. I've heard from many teachers, their names are not on their list, individual teachers. Some entire schools are not on the list. And the teachers are being asked to check with 21 Brickdam, check with 68 Brickdam, check with somewhere else. I mean,
so you could line up here for hours and
your
still
name,
not...
and still don't have your name on the list. I mean, what kind of system is this? Instead of going forward, we are going backwards. And you know the hypocrisy in the PPP regime. You hear them talk all the time. And I'm speaking here as Shadow Minister of Education. You hear them talk all the time about LFS Burnham, and he had people in lines, But you check everywhere you go now. GPL, you have to line up. You go to the banks, you have to line up. You come to the Ministry of Education just for a simple thing, and you have to line up. And today here you're seeing it, lines upon lines. The teachers were at 21 Brickdam. They were told then that their names are not there and the confusion there, so they dragged them down to St. Stanislaus.
I was about to ask you about that.
I mean, is this what we want for our educators? I mean, we have teachers who suffer from all kinds of ailments, and you're having them in the sun. Is it that you're saying to our teachers, because they were on strike and they stood in the sun, it's okay for them to come and stand up in the sun here? Is that the message that you're sending to our teachers? This is distasteful. And the Minister of Education should step down from her position for treating her teachers like this. And this is the government who talks about just because we care. And just because we care, and this is the kind of care. This is the kind of care.
Madam General Secretary and also Shadow Minister of Education, another thing I wanted to ask you, did you have notice, or teachers have noticed, that the distribution for teachers was going to be this morning? Because quite a few told us that they heard by the way.
Teachers heard by the way, let me say that. And I'm hearing that there was some Facebook post made by the minister. Now, if you are, no, you don't have to do, you don't have to go to the university. I just wanted to say IFLUD, but I'm not going to say that. You don't have to go to university to know that you have to put a system in place. While the monies were distributed to the schools, to the children, they were from in schools, the various schools. Now, teachers have bank accounts. You could have placed those monies in their bank accounts. You could have given those monies to the head teachers, because head teachers received millions of dollars to distribute during the cash grant time for the children. Why couldn't the head teachers of every school be given the entire list and the amount of checks that you have to get, and they do it in their schools? Here you're exposing the teachers not only to the weather, but you're exposing the teachers' safety as well, because when they go down the road, somebody follow them to the bank, and the next thing you know, they get robbed. Yeah. Is this all the love that we have for our teachers? I can't find the words to express the attitude of this heartless government towards the teachers of this country.
Yeah. I'm happy you raised that, the security element as well, because a number of parents were robbed when the cash grant for parents were given out for students. Similar to what you said, the bandits were just laying wait, knowing that the people are leaving this location with money in their pockets, and we're seeing an uptick in crime during this season here. So
exactly,
it's definitely going to be a concern for the teachers who
are here too. Teachers. The other thing is, I don't know. Now, teachers today is, I think, teachers from Region 4 and Georgetown. Why do you have to cluster the teachers from Region 4? In Georgetown, we have 3 districts in Georgetown. We have South Georgetown, East Georgetown, and North Georgetown. I mean, Somebody could have been intelligent enough to say, look, we're going to look at the South Georgetown teachers at a central point, North Rumvelt Multilateral School. We look at and that would have been for South Georgetown. The teachers from North Georgetown, we could have used Queens College for the teachers from South Georgetown. The teachers in East Georgetown, we could have used St. Joseph High. And so you have a better system where there is more control over the crowd that you're having there. Rather than that, the PPP, they like the huge crowds and the lines so that they can come and have photo op. And then their propaganda machine will start spinning. This is the oil, their propaganda machine. But again, to treat your teachers in this manner is despicable. And the minister should be ashamed of herself and her government to be treating teachers like this.
Yep. That's some of what went down, folks. Wow. You see, they think they know everything. The PPP. So they wouldn't call on the Ghana Teachers Union and say, how do you think we might roll out this thing? Based on your experience. No. Pre know everything. Pre know law, she know education, she know science, she know everything. Expert level. Not just knowing a little bit to get by. If I know everything, well, you could teach somebody like that. Jagdio, what's yet? Is Jagdio Erasmus Bharat Erasmus Jagdio? Only Erasmus is a man who was famed to know everything. Lived hundreds of years ago. You asked him a GPT chat, he knew it. He'd have crossed with Nostradamus. You asked him about artificial intelligence, he knew it. They know everything. You can't teach them nothing. So there our teachers were today. Outside of 21 breakdown, then they post them down the road. The good book says, when these things happen, it's not the end. It's the beginning of sorrows. It's the beginning of sorrows. The folks at Barica told us they were out since 6 this morning, waiting for the cash grant, waiting since 6 a.m. Waiting for the 100,000. Things tight. The 100,000 can't buy what it used to buy in 2020. In 2020, it can't buy what it used to buy in 2019. Thanks, your fun. Susan singing on TikTok. Do you remember? When inflation was 0.02. She won't talk about that. Do you remember? Teachers got pay increase every year. They had to protest. They had to line up. Do you remember when they were treated with dignity? Since 6 a.m., the folks lined up. They tell us in Barica, waiting. And then we learned, they say Agile went up. Nobody else didn't when there is yet. Officials didn't come. Other officials, rather. And then people said, they see Agile come, they said, "Ting there, we there. People say, chill them the ground. Money come. They say, we see how partition run out. Money, 100,000. You see, them think it's them, Agile can start getting a brainwave, and he think it's he. Is he pulling these people? You see? They're coming because of him. Right? They're coming because if you see people, they come out. They say Edgel spoke for about an hour and a half, running on 2 hours. He makes his little Fidel Castro. Hour and a half, pushing on 2 hours. One big political speech. You know, they got to get a photo up. They got to get a mall up. One big political speech. And then he left. People said they were shocked because they Edgel comedy money. They say Edgel comedy money. You know, it's alleged Edgel got apartment, hotel, this, dot. Lord has really blessed him. The Lord has really blessed him. Edgel bring the money. Edgel come talk 2 hours gone. They say confusion on the ground. A lot of confusion, they tell us. On the ground. People don't know what's going on. Confusion in the system. There's a private sector person's names were being called in the public servants' location. Checks were not properly separated. And it was still late in the morning, going into the afternoon. The thing started to move. Because had to move people like in Georgetown from one location to the other. No proper system in place, quote unquote. That's what residents told us. No proper system in place. And I wait for the done. Wait for the done. What happened next shocked a lot of people. This. They were shocked. You know how traumatizing it could be. You know you have to go and register. This is not a list they pull. It's not a list from someplace. Everyone said they were going painstakingly. Even when you register, then everyone say they got to go verify. They got to go verify. Hey, look, Roxanne Garway, Sheila Boychild, 100,000. Marlin, Pinky, thing there. Shamara, Sharples, Karen Welcome, thing there. It's a real person. You know how traumatizing it could be. You gone there, you hear Ravindra Suknandan. You say, what? Ravindra died 10 years ago. Who registered for Ravindra? Jackie Milner. 15 years ago, Jackie passed on. Was your wife? You stand up. That's what people told us. They're the center ground. They hear the grandmother name called. The grandmother died 20 years ago. Upright youth, you understand? If people had to go in person with an ID card or a passport and register, how come revenge name on the thing? Who registered for Jackie? Who registered for Jackie? I see MP Finance on the live this. MP tell me if I'm lying, man. MP lives in Barica. You tell me if I'm lying. MP says Edgel tell the people Barica is small. The thing will finish quick. People start hearing the dead relative's name calling. Do you tell a lie? MP Finance lives in that constituency. That's your people. A lie? If a lie, tell the public. People hear the great grandmother Somebody here, coffee name call. Coffee 1763. Coffee, coffee name call. Some people here, Damon statue. This country got jokes, you know. I hear, oh, that's the primus. I hear register in tongue. She name calling Barica. Mel name calling Barica. Somebody said they heard Duncan, they ain't sure if it was me. What kind of country is this? That could be traumatizing for a lot of people, Asha. Sharon said dash the bell in the chest. Listen to this. Almost thanks MP Finance for reminding me. Hold on. Could you imagine? Drita lives in Barica. Lives there. Could you imagine here? Coffee 1763. That's a check calling. Your name only calling, we got check. Coffee 1763. And then Jurita's there, her mother's there, the whole family. You know. Them alone's a seat with 5,000 them. Nobody named on the list. The dead on the list, the living, looking, check again. What? My name is not what? Prophesy again. Damon. The statue. What kind of name is Damon the statue? Folks, Genevieve, Dyson 68, she name on the list. Way back when, I remind you all every so often, there was an old song. Da-da name on the list. That was it. That was the melody. People didn't want to go in the list. I remember that's the year's list. That's their list. People living in Barica went to register with ID card, passport, driver's license. Their name on the list, Ingrid. Ravindra, Jackie, and all. God rest the dead. Right? Orvin, there's Aaron, the PP guy that died the other day. Or in there, he just looked like he kick off. Orvin, what's the fella? Living people name not on the list. Look at people and say, if a lie tell me, and me say big man falling with hunger. If you there since 6 in the morning, you could imagine people getting dark eye. Patricia Brown, Jackie Cameron, people out there getting dark eye. Y'all know your label. Falling down in these streets. Selling dreams out there. Don't do it to our people, man. Don't do it to our people. They care. And they're coming in another couple of days, you know, for say we care because they can make you feel now like this money come out of Freedom House. This is money that Irfan saved since he was a boy. He take little and buy all the guys, Suko land and Lenora. Right? And then his cell phone card, he make another set, and now he come for share out. They make this is their money here. This is not the aisle money that belongs to you and me and our generation. We churn. Then try to guilt trip you now. They got this one here on TikTok Do you remember? She can't even figure it. She can't remember who she is. She can't remember who she be. Do you remember? But I not gonna remind you if you don't know. Huh? You want I remind you? So not only dead people on the list, people went to the bank and got money. That is another story we're hearing. There's a shortage of cash in the system. Banking Barica and got money. Well, if a bank is not Clanbrook, Timbuktu, Barica is around the corner. You left home now where you could touch it down in Barica. You go by plane for the 5 minutes, half hour. You swim a little 5 hours, give and take. But because not Timbuktu, that's right from the corner there. Banks and got money. Then Edgel said, Barticus mama, we can get you quick. People gotta come back tomorrow now. People gotta come back tomorrow now. People gotta come back tomorrow. And as MP says, if we talk about generational wealth, people even know what eating tomorrow night into Wednesday morning, the 25th. You lose $100,000 now in the pocket. Generational wealth, you're looking for a rope, little soap, a little kerosene cocktail, something. 100,000. First lady sure loan 5,000 US. On generational who? Don't come wrong with funny. Don't do it, folks. Don't do it. They're coming for thief your land. I want to give you 100,000 until you build generational wealth. You had your land in your family for generations. They're coming for thief your land now. But you must take 100,000. Don't the land for build generational wealth. Through a belly and neck. Now your chest. Parliamentary colleagues with the National Assembly last week put forward some fantastic ideas, each and every one of them. Susan and talk yet on the bill and shared housing, then knocking down people's house and taking the land. She's singing on TikTok. That's where paying she over $1 million a month for 1 point something, 8, 9, 10. 1.10. Oh, the children watch it. Say, Mommy, what is 1.10? 1.10. Singing. She ain't got no thoughts to offer in the National Assembly. And then you had a shocker. The folks start talking about what transpired Hill at Cane View, Mocha. And listen to the out of touch, disconnected government and their representatives. Speaker said he's not aware of those activities transpired. He's not aware. Huh? And on TikTok, Susan singing, do you remember?
Speaker of the National Assembly, Manzur Nadir, made bold to say that he was unaware of some of the incidents that occurred in Mocha when the government moved to evict some people. Using heavy-duty equipment, the government demolished homes and caused some people to be assaulted. The Speaker's comments came during the address by Member of Parliament Amanza Walton Desir on the land acquisition bill.
When a fact is in dispute, you usually invite members to lay the evidence to the House. And in the circumstances, Mr. Speaker, I will be happy, very happy, to lay over that evidence to the House and refresh your memory accordingly. Because I guarantee you, the people of Caneview Avenue have not forgotten. And Mr. Speaker, You know what is galling about it? We were told, and this is why I smile when the Honorable Attorney General comes here to tell us that the people of Guyana must trust them. Oh, their homes are in the path of the road. Their homes are in the path of the road. The road is completed now. And we see very clearly that the people were never in the path of the road.
She said that given the fact, the government will not afford the residents of Mocha Arcade the use of the land.
They will sell it to the Triple F Mafia, their friends, their families, and their favorites. And then you all come to this house to tell people about, oh, one Guyana. If you all are serious about one Guyana, revert those lands back to the people of Mocha Arcadia. Have it for their use and benefit. And then is when we will know that as a government you are serious.
She recalled that Housing Minister Colin Cole emphasized that the people of Caneview Avenue and Mocha were on the reserve.
I want to bring to the honorable members remembrance. There's 76 informal squatters at Greenwich Park Railway Embankment and Iflock Railway Embankment. Mr. Speaker, the day before, they were bulldozing properties in Mocha. The day after, they were handing out titles to these people on the same embankment. That is the problem that we have, Mr. Speaker. They come here to tell us to trust them. And in their very administration of the law, they lack the ability to have their conduct conform to the requirements of the law. But we must trust them.
She called attention to Success East Coast Demerara and to Hillfoot on the Suesdike Linden Highway.
Let's look at Sarah Joanna. Mr. Speaker, juxtapose those against the treatment of squatters in the Conservancy Dam, where even though they were in the Conservancy, they were given light and water. In Conservancy Dam. But they come here to tell us we must trust them with the administration of this law.
Ms. Walton Desir was making clear reference to the discrimination in the treatment of people of one ethnic group.
Yep. Trust but verify. Trust but verify. Trust them. Anybody else? Anybody else? Not them. Not them. Let's end on a high note. Just after 9 at our end. A tad shit after 9. Let's end. They're telling us the ship connected. The ship connected. This shit here says bird insulated. So this got stronger wire, stronger steel than the one that is anchored there in Region 6. So bird can't eat this shit wire so easy. So days after it's been parked there, racking up millions of dollars doing nothing. They said they finally managed to connect it to the Demerara Berbice interconnected system. That's what they're telling us. Is it so? Who knows? Take a look. The closer, folks.
Following investments in the energy sector by the government of Guyana and the second power ship to come to the country to alleviate the electricity woes, today, the 60-megawatt power ship began producing power to be added to GPL's grid. A release from the Public Works Ministry said the project was met with many challenges in mounting the second power ship, which included pile driving for mooring and wire facilities to accommodate the vessel, building of a temporary access road, and installation of 3.9 kilometers of 69 kV high-power transmission lines through communities and over highways. The new base load generating facility will boost GPL's generation capacity, bringing it to 265 megawatts per hour, which will satisfy the peak demand in the holiday season of 195 megawatts per hour. The release continued that the tireless efforts of the teams at GPL and the contractor Cleopatra Projects International Limited, who work to deliver the government's promise to supplement the Demerara Berbice Interconnected System, DBIS, with new baseload generating capacity.
right, and that's gonna do it. That's gonna do it for us this evening, folks. They said the ship touch up. They touch up. We're gonna take them at the word. So the next blackout come. Remember, they said the second power ship is touch. And it should be powering. That's our time this evening, folks. And that's our program. Thanks for joining us. Ingrid and Pinky, Idris and Sheila Boy Child. Good to have all of you there. Pinky, Lyndon, Deborah, Mark, Jamal. I see you there. Lyndon, Zamal, Jamal. Karen, we see you there too. Pim. Sheila Boy Child says. Ingrid, Edward, and all the other folks. That's going to do it for us at this end. That's the time, folks. That's the last one. That's the program. Stay safe. Share the live before you go. Smash that emoji button as well. And partner with us too. Help to keep us going. That's the time. That's the program. Stay safe.